Good morning, everyone. Namaste. Happy Sunday, everyone. I'm going to call in Archangel Michael to cleanse, clear the space of any negative or lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protection on us with his blue seal. And I'm also going to call in Yeshua, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, as well as God, because we're going to be reading more out of my Course in Miracles. We are still on chapter 6, Attack and Fear, part 5, The Only Answer. States, "Yet the kingdom and all that you have created there will have a beautiful, great reality for you, because they are beautiful and true. In the kingdom where you are and what you are is perfectly certain. There is no doubt there because the first question was never asked. Having finally been wholly answered, it has never been. Being alone lives in the kingdom where everything lives in God without question. The time that was spent on questioning in the dreams has given ways to creation and its eternity. You are as certain as God because you are as true as He is. But what was once quite certain in your minds has become only the ability for certainty. The introduction of abilities into being was the beginning of uncertainty, because the abilities are potentials, not accomplishments. Your abilities are totally useless in the presence of God's accomplishments and also of yours. Accomplishments are results which have been achieved. When they are perfect, abilities are meaningless. It is curious that the perfect must now be perfected. In fact, it is impossible. You must remember, however, that when you put yourself as in an impossible situation, you believe that the impossible was possible. Abilities must be developed or you cannot use them. This is true of anything that God created, but is the kindest solution possible to what you have made. In an impossible situation, you can develop your abilities to the point where you can get you out of it. You have a guide to how to develop them, but you have no commander except for yourself. This leaves you in charge of the kingdom with both a guide to find it and a means to keep it. You have a model to follow who will strengthen your commands and never detract you from it in any way. You therefore retain the central place in your perceived enslavement, a fact which itself demonstrates that you are not enslaved. You is an impossible situation only because you thought it was impossible to be in one. You would be in impossible situation if God showed you your perfection and proved to you that you were wrong. This would demonstrate that the perfect were inadequate to bring themselves to the awareness of their perfection and thus side with the belief that those who have everything need help and are therefore helpless. This is the kind of reasoning which an ego engages in, but God, who knows that his creations are perfect, does not insult them. This would be impossible as the ego's notion that has insulted him. That is why the Holy Spirit never commands to assume inequality, which the Holy Spirit demonstrates does not exist. Fidelity to promises is a law of mind, and everything God created is faithful to his laws. Fidelity to other laws is also possible. However, not because the laws are true, but because you made them. What would be gained if God proved to you that you have thought insanely? Can God lose his own certainty? We have frequently stated that what you teach, you are. What you have God teach you that you have sinned. If he confronted the self, you made with the truth. He created it for you. What could you be afraid of? You wouldn't doubt your sanity, which is the one thing in which you can find the sanity he gave. So I'm going to leave it at that, but I should read this last paragraph because it's a new thing. It says, God does not teach to imply a lack which God knows is not there. God is conflicted. Teaching aims at change, but God created only the changeless. The separation was not a loss of perfection, but a failure in communication. A harsh and strident form of communication arose as the ego's voice. It could not shatter the peace of God, but it could shatter yours. God did not blot it out because to eradicate it, it would be to attack it. Being questioned, he did not question. He merely gave the answer. His answer is your teacher. So, God is everything, and everything is God. We are all one. There's no separation. So, to question that, God made us all. It's pretty common sense. You wouldn't question a parent with their children, right? Because they created them. Well, God created you. God created everybody. God created this whole entire world. Everything that you see in this world is only because they believe that they're separate from God, when in reality, we're all one. So I hope this helps. I love you all. Have a blessed Sunday, and namaste.